Good, happy Thursday evening. I'm Riley King, and welcome to the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. Let's begin. Sununu calls for bipartisanship, Universal College tuition program in inaugural address. Republican governor tries to reach across aisles to Democratic legislative majorities. Republican Governor Chris Sununu called for bipartisanship with the Democratic legislative majority, while also warning in his second inaugural address Thursday that he will not tolerate increased tax or a change to the state's Medicaid expansion work requirement. Sununu is the first Republican New Hampshire governor in modern history to have a legislature controlled by Democrats. The governor offered a provisional branch to the legislature that flipped in November election from a Republican majority to a Democratic majority. Democrats are now control the House 223 to 167, and they control the Senate 14 to 10, while strong majorities neither are veto proof, meaning that Sununu will still wield substantial power over the state's agenda. And now let's take a listen to part of Governor Chris Sununu's speech.
Thank you. It's always got to be something. I can't live that guy down. Well, good morning. Good morning. It is great to see everybody here. Thank you, President Susi and the Speaker Shirtliff. I remembered your name. I was going to throw something in there, but but obviously honorable members of the House and Senate who have joined us here today. This is one of those rare times. We have so many folks in this audience to really thank who really make a lot of New Hampshire what it is. We have the members of the Supreme Court, the justices, the federal court. We have our esteemed executive council here, which obviously I'm quite partial to. All the members of our commissioners and our directors that represent the state, that manage the ins and outs of the business. Obviously, there's a lot of friends and family here. It is absolutely great to see them, and it goes without saying, the one who really makes this all happen, my amazing wife, Valerie. It's an absolute honor when a group of folks, 1.35 million people, put their faith in you and the trust to be governor. It's an honor to stand up here. It's very humbling in many, many different ways. I also want to take the moment to really acknowledge you never can say enough when you talk about having the National Guard in here and our military families and the fact we have folks serving from New Hampshire, both serving abroad and here in country, maybe not in the state with us today. The sacrifices that they make, the sacrifices their family makes, veterans, that obligation that we carry with us, making sure that we're standing by them, for them, providing the services they need while they stand up for us. So to everyone who has or is currently wearing a uniform, thank you. Thank you very much. So as you know, I do not normally write speeches. So writing a speech is always a bit of a challenge, and I'm going to do my best to stick to it. I'll try my best not to ramble on. I see they have sat Ruth Griffin and Ray Wazork next to each other. Right? Someone gets it. So if I see them nodding off, I know I've gone too long. I love you guys. Well, Ray's like Valerie's boyfriend. Ruth is like my girlfriend. It all works out. In November, the voters in this state, not just for governor, but as they came out, whether it was for the county seats, or the state seats, or the House, or the Senate, they really set us on a path. And it does require that we as state leaders come together, truly embrace a spirit of cooperation, work together to get things done for the state of New Hampshire. And we have to remember that there are 1.35 million people counting on that, and they truly deserve nothing less. We were sent to Concord to fix problems, to create opportunities, and to embrace the power of the individual. And I talk about that a lot. Make no mistake, we've made great progress in the past 2 years, but there is surely a lot of work to be done. In just the last 2 years, we've established things like full-day kindergarten. We signed the most comprehensive child welfare bill in the state's history. We provided tax relief for small businesses. And with the implementation of our new hub and spoke model, now known as the Doorway, this very week, opening their doors across the state of New Hampshire, we've created opportunities for us to truly tackle one of the state's biggest crises, the opioid epidemic. We worked together bipartisanly in a way that, frankly, was a moment of real pride, I think, for all of us in the last session, when we decided that we wouldn't let partisanship come in the way and would make sure that 50,000 Granite Staters, low-income Granite Staters, those who are out there doing everything they can to make a living, to provide for their families, we made sure that they will have health care through our expanded Medicaid program.
Okay, and there you go on part of Governor Chris Sununu's speech and inaugural address. If you want to watch the full video, we will be sure to share a link with you on the Riley King Network Facebook page. Nancy Pelosi leads as Democrats take control of House, ushering in diverse new class. The 116th Congress gavelled into session Thursday, swathed in history, returning the first woman to the House Speaker's office and ushering in a diverse class of Democratic freshmen ready to confront President Donald Trump in a new era of divided government. Dartmouth College announced plan to fight sexual misconduct. Let's take a listen to the video from WMUR News 9.
Absolutely, an animal house is probably a fair description. It was certainly a boys' club environment.
Former Dartmouth grad student Andrea Courtney is one of 7 plaintiffs suing Dartmouth College, alleging the Ivy League allowed inappropriate behavior to go on for years despite complaints. The students say their advisors conducted professional lab meetings at bars, commented on their bodies, and invited students to hot tub parties in their homes.
And there was excessive drinking, and graduate students and undergraduate students were expected to socialize outside of work hours.
A year ago, the 3 professors, who we are not naming because they have not been charged criminally, were put on administrative leave. 2 since resigned, 1 retired. The students allege they were sexually harassed and in some cases sexually assaulted and raped. Christina Rapuano says she needed academic advising from 1 professor to complete her PhD.
It required me to engage with him socially in a lot of ways that I felt were very unprofessional. I went to a professional conference to present my research in California, and I was sexually assaulted.
She says she later realized other female students experienced similar behavior.
I would like to change the systemic harassment that occurs in academia.
Dartmouth College released a statement saying, in part, sexual misconduct and harassment have no place at Dartmouth. However, we respectfully but strongly disagree with the characterizations of Dartmouth's actions in the complaint and will respond through our own court filings. An attorney representing the 7 women says she believes more will now come forward. Reporting live in studio, Jean Mackin, WMUR News.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Local World War II hero dies weeks after receiving Purple Heart. Let's take a listen to the video.
This is what 74 years in the making looks like for World War II veteran Francis Byrne.
This is to certify that the President of the United States has awarded the Purple Heart.
As for how it feels,
It's all full of bubbles right now.
in 1944, Byrne was injured in Belgium when a landmine exploded. Byrne didn't slow down, he just returned to action.
But he's a great example of the greatest generation, too. You know, they fought in World War II, they came home, they started families, they built this country to what it is today.
And today may not have happened if not for Jeanette Chasen, who petitioned the Army for a Purple Heart. She met Francis while holding a door for him at the Elliott and opened a metaphorical door in the process.
I can't think of a better way that I ever could have honored a veteran, let alone a World War II veteran. From a simple thank you for your service, this is what came of that.
It's definitely worth the wait. Yep. And I'm proud of everybody that's had anything to do with it.
Pride felt across all branches of the military. Dozens of veterans were in attendance for the ceremony.
I never realized how tight-knit the military was, the veterans were, until this happened.
At 94 years old and diagnosed with an aggressive cancer, Byrne says he has one mission left, filling that empty spot in his awards case with the Purple Heart.
Something you can't really imagine because it's been so long ago. And I never thought it would really come true.
Mike Cherry, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. We have learned the local World War II veteran who received a long overdue Purple Heart in a special ceremony a few weeks ago has died. Francis Byrne was awarded the medal on December 14th at a ceremony at Elliott Hospital. And let's take a look at your U.S. stock market and see how your U.S. stock market closed for this Thursday evening. And here's a look at your U.S. stock market. Your Dow Jones Industrial Average closed in the red and went down. Your Nasdaq closed in the red and went down. S&P 500 closed in the red and went down. Gold closed in the green, went up. Oil closed in the green and went up. U.S. 10-year closed in the red and went down. Euro/USD closed in the green and went up. And VIX closed in the green and went up. Dow tumbles more than 600 points on Apple plunge, raising fears of an economic slowdown. U.S. stocks fell sharply on Thursday following a dire quarterly warning from Apple. The iPhone maker blamed a slowing Chinese economic for a shortfall, intensifying fears that the global economy may be slowing down because of ongoing trade war. President Trump makes surprise appearance in White House briefing room. President Donald Trump made a surprise appearance in the White House press briefing room Thursday, where he congratulated Rep. Nancy Pelosi on her election as the next House Speaker and again advocated for the construction of a wall along the U.S.-Mexico border. And that does it for the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a great rest of your Thursday night, and I'll see you back here tomorrow for another newscast. And I'll have a news report coming up in a little bit. Good night, everyone. Bye.